Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of What the Smut Book Reviews. Okay, in today's video, before I jump into today's video, hi, my name is Candice, and welcome to another episode of What the Smut. I'm your host. I'm not a good one, but I am one. I am the one. In today's video, I've lost the will to live. I've lost the plot. Okay. As you can see, my hair is a different color. What else is new? I know. I got rid of the orange and I dyed it to like what was supposed to be like a bright red, and instead somehow became burgundy. Erres or Juarez. I can't be bothered. This is what I do. Color on top of color on top of color on top of color. Whatever happens, happens. And I just write it out until it's dull. And then I do it again. And start the process all over again. My poor hair. So, in today's video, I am coming back at you with some more IAD. We're going to be reviewing book 11, allegedly, according to Amazon. Book 11 of Kresley Cole's Immortals After Dark series, and it is called Dreams of a Dark Warrior. Okay. I've talked about this before. My favorite books from the series. Conrad and Naomi story. What is it? Dark Needs at Night's Edge. This one, out of all of the characters in the lore, I wanted Regan's book the most. Like, it was one of those, like, I have to have it. How long is it going to take for me to get Regan's book? Every book, Regan's there, and they're dropping hints about her immortal berserker who's been reincarnated again and is going to be coming soon. When is he coming? I was waiting a long time. I got it. I finally got it. In this one. I can't tell you, when this book came out, I think it was like before Kindle, before I had my Kindle, like I was stalking Barnes and Nobles for days. Stalking Barnes and Nobles. Like, if I tell you, like, this is one book that I don't care what the cover price is. Only hardcover, give it to me. $25, Barnes and Nobles, $29.99, give it to me. Take my money, because I needed this book so badly. Okay, I've gushed enough. Anyway, this is the cover that I have. This is the mass market paperback cover that was released when this book first came out. This was the original cover. Now it has got a revamped cover. If I can find the picture, I'll put it here for the revamped cover, which is like if you order it right now on Amazon. Amazon. If you order it right now on Amazon, I think you will get the new cover. I don't think you will get this cover. Which, Anyway, you can tell I don't take care of my stuff though, because like, look how warped this book is from like sitting on my shelf. Look how warped. Anyway, don't tell nobody. Okay, so this book has, according to Amazon, 532 pages, which sounds ridiculous to me. I'm gonna, actually, you know what? I'm sorry for the shakeage, by the way. It's just my table's on carpet. It happens. 514 pages. Okay, it did not feel like that. And that's like in a good way, because it's in a good way and a bad way, because something is so amazing and you wait for it to come out for so long, and then you get it and you start it and it feels like you blink and it's over. And you're just like, you come up out of your reading bubble and your hair is greasy and a mess, and what is deodorant? We don't remember what deodorant is. I've worn pajamas for 5 days. What, you know what I'm saying? Like 514 pages later, what am I supposed to do with my life? I have to wait a year for the next book? This is why, if you've never heard of this series, go out and buy all of the books that are out. This is book 11. There have been 17, 18 books. You can binge. This is such a binge-worthy series. If you like paranormal romance, you have zero excuse not to do it. It's ridiculously binge-worthy. Like, you will be obsessed. You read like 2 or 3. Come back here. Comment down below. Candice, you were right. You fucking told me, and you were right. I'm telling you. Do it. You can get this book for your Kindle or Nook right now for $6.99. You can get the mass market paperback, like I said, probably with the new cover, but brand new on Amazon for $6.79. I'm not going to do it. I know you expected it. If you've watched my last 5-10 videos, because I do it every video, I have like flip outs about why digital costs more than the physical book. I'm not going to do it. We're just going to move on. You can get this book in hardcover on Amazon, brand new, for $25.99. That's also not bad. I think this would look good on the shelf in hardcover. You can get this book used on eBay in varying conditions for starting around $5 with free shipping. So it's really just whatever you want to do. So Amazon in different areas, I think like if you click on the like Kindle version versus the paperback version or whatever, like it will change the sequential reading order of like what number book this is. It says it's book 11, but then on another part of the page it says it's book 9. What are you doing? Amazon, what are you doing? Fact check much? Are you me? Did you not do any research? So yes. So, I don't know what's going on with that, but I believe this is book 11. I think. Anyway, I will read you guys the blurb, and then we will break it down, like seriously break it down, because you can tell. You can tell it's going to be one of those, you know. Okay, so the blurb for this one says, it's got like that thing, okay, that thing that they do. I think Kresley does it a lot. I think Gina does it as well, Gina Showalter, where like the blurb will have like a line that's in like bold or like a line that's in italics, and then it has like dot, 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 and then a little paragraph underneath about whatever. So it says, he vowed he'd come for her. Dot, dot, dot. Murdered before he could wed Regan the Radiant, warlord Aiden the Fierce seeks his beloved through eternity. Reborn again and again into new identities, yet with no memory of his past lives. And then it says, she awaits his return. Dot, dot, dot. When Regan encounters Declan Chase, a brutal Celtic, a brutal Celtic soldier, she recognizes her proud warlord reincarnated. But Declan takes her captive, intending retribution against all immortals, unaware that he belongs to their world. Another little line in italics. To sate a desire more powerful than death. Yet every reincarnation comes with a price, for Aiden is doomed to die when he remembers his past. To save herself from Declan's torments, will Regan rekindle memories of the passion they once shared, even if it means once again losing the only man she could ever love? I'm going to pause that because I know that's going to be like a blooper, like an out. Okay, so the two main characters for this book are Regan the Radiant, who's a Valkyrie, and Aiden the Fierce, who is... Okay, Aiden was a Norse, like a Nordic warlord. He met Regan when she was very young. She left Valhalla voluntarily to help her sister Lucia with some really nasty shit. She was only, I think, like 12. She had not frozen into her immortality yet. She is called Regan the Radiant because she has glowing skin. So she's a Valkyrie who inherited traits from her birth mother, who was a member of a species called the Radiant Ones. They essentially, like, they glow. So she ran into Aiden. She was weary from traveling and looking for Lucia, fresh from her exit from Valhalla. And she goes to this fierce warlord's, what the fuck do they call it? Longhouse or whatever? Like, what did they have back then? Their dining hall or whatever. And she has like a hood on and she's hiding her glowing skin, whatever. And she walks in and she is basically like, hey, I'm kind of stranded. I just want like a horse and some food and right. And they're like, oh, this stupid boy, whatever. Aiden immediately like is drawn to her, even before knowing that it's a girl and it's, you know, like that she's only 12 and whatever. But he feels a connection to her. And when she's revealed as one of Odin's precious daughters, obviously they can't like harm her. That he's not going to harm her in any way. But it takes her to the side and he's like, I'm going to feed you. You sleep here. You're not gonna leave because I'm not gonna let you leave. I have to go ahead and let you know that I have recognized you as my fated female. You will be mine when you're older. Not now, because I'm not a pedo, but when you're older, because I feel it. Aiden was like a berserker, which I don't remember if that was like a faction in the lore or if he's a human berserker. He wasn't immortal. He was like just a regular warrior guy. So Regan's like, no, first of all, you may think I'm yours, but you're not mine, because we don't do that. Like, until a Valkyrie, I think like the telling note is if a Valkyrie runs into the arms of their person, their dude, then that's their dude. You know what I'm saying? So she's 12 and she's talking a good game and she's like, warrior, please, like, just give me some stew and give me a horse and whatever. And he's like humoring her, like, okay, you're going to be very important to me when you're older. Simmer down, little one. She eats. They fall asleep. Well, he falls asleep. She bounces. She has to go hunt for Lucia. She has to help her sister. She disappears. Aiden spends the next however many years, like 15, 10 years, whatever, searching for her while subsequently fighting battles. His end game, not end game, because I don't want to use that word because that's Lothair's word and then Lothair is next. So his Aiden wants to earn Ohala, which is like where a berserker fights like 200 battles, fights and wins 200 battles in Odin's name or while carrying Odin's crest, which is like 2 ravens in flight. Aiden wants to earn that because he doesn't believe that Odin will allow him to claim Regan as his own until he has become immortal and is worthy of such a prize, right? So he's fighting all of these battles while searching for Regan. But it's slow going because he's spending more time searching for Regan who's vanished than he is actually fighting and trying to earn the immortality. He's weary. He's much older. He's becoming very discouraged because he can't find her. And then she pops up. And she's like, yeah, you know, you're the only guy that I've ever actually considered like being with. I did feel a connection to you, even though I talk a lot of shit. He thinks that she's a dream at first, and he's like, I can't believe I found you. I'm never letting you go again. She's like, you can't tie me here. That's not how this is going to go. They bargain, basically, and she agrees to stay with him for a few months while he earns Ohala, and, you know, then they can be together. And she's like, okay, I'll see where this goes. You may not be my fated dude, but we'll see what happens. So they begin like a relationship where they pleasure each other without actual penetration. And they become both attached. Like Regan becomes more attached to him. She realizes she has deeper feelings for him. One night, he comes in from a recent battle, and he's crazed. He's in his berserk, what they call berserk rage, and he wants to claim her virginity. And she's like, you can't. And he's like, I need to. You don't understand. I almost died on the battlefield. I was fighting vampires. I barely made it back to you. You have to let me have you. It's my due, right? They end up having sex. Directly after that, a vampire traces into the tent and shanks him. He dies. He dies before he could earn Ohala. In addition to dying, Regan finds out later that he was cursed. Essentially like cursed by Odin to reincarnate every few hundred years, or around the time of every accession, which is like every 500 years they have what's called an accession, which is like a culling of the immortal species. Factions battle it out, and it keeps their numbers in check, and it keeps the balance of good and evil, right? So around the time of every accession, Aiden re-embodies as a new person. He has no memory of who he was before, but he somehow manages to end up in Regan's path. Since the time that he was killed as Aiden, he has also been like a French pirate and like a Spanish something warlord or whatever, and like a British cavalry officer, and etc. etc. Okay. Every time he's found Regan, the first kiss that they share brings back the memories, or starts bringing back the memories of his old life, or his old lives. Directly after he remembers who she is to him, and he claims her sexually, he's killed. Subsequently, like he's either his ship sunk, or he's, stabbed again, or he's decapitated, whatever. So essentially, he gets greedy, and he gets a little some, and then Odin's like, clearly, you haven't learned a lesson, right? So Regan, each time, has to live through this trauma of finding her man and then watching him die. Present day New Orleans, she's been told by Nyx, who is the Valkyrie soothsayer without equal, that Aiden is around somewhere, and she'll run into him soon. She doesn't want to. She thinks that if she avoids him, he'll be able to live a long and fulfilling life, and she can't really stand the heartache of having to deal with losing him again. because she will. She thinks she will. She knows she will. So she's doing anything she can at all costs to avoid running into him. She doesn't know what form he's in or like who he is, whatever. So she's out on the streets of New Orleans one night, and she's like, you know, bagging and tagging like kobolds or whatever they are, like those little gross little goblin things. And she's attacked by a group of humans, like hunter type humans, and they're led by a man who's dressed all in black, covered from head to toe, including gloves, who has like a Scottish, like an Irish accent. I don't know why I said Scottish, like an Irish, like a little Irish brogue. And they basically capture her. They kidnap her from the street. She's taken to an island off the coast of God knows where, without any contact with anyone. Like there's nothing, there's no way to get off the island. You're in the middle of the ocean. There's a facility there where immortals are being systematically kidnapped and taken and experimented on and tortured, etc., etc. The facility is part of a larger structure of facilities that is run by a guy named, he's known as Commander Webb. But this particular facility on this particular island is led by someone named Declan Chase, Magister Chase, also known as AKA the Blademan, because he shanks his victims, like as he kidnaps them. He's known for stabbing them, which he did do to Regan. And in that moment on the streets of New Orleans, when he shanked her, she recognized him as Aiden, and she was like, you're gonna regret this when you remember that I'm your woman, and then you relive the guilt of having stabbed me. But, so, she's now in a cell. Declan was a junkie. He grew up on the streets in Ireland, I think in Dublin, and he did a lot of things he wasn't proud of for drugs. And it was all to suppress like superhuman strength and things like that. Like he's always felt different. He's always felt weird. He's always had like physical like problems, mental problems. He suppressed all of those problems with heroin and other nasty things. One night he is trying to get like, he has no money. He's living on the streets. He tries to get drugs from his dealer like on credit. And the dealer's like, nah. So he's like, okay, I'll travel to my parents' house. I'll steal from them. It's shady, yes, I know, but I need drugs. And I'll sell that stuff and I'll get my drugs. He goes there. He walks into like a horror scene of these disgusting creatures known as Neoptra, which essentially they peel your skin from your body and eat it while you're alive. And they've killed his entire family. They grab him. They systematically peel his flesh off. He's saved by Commander Webb and then inducted into the Order, which is the band of mortal dudes, men and women, who have made it their mission to wipe Lorians off the face of the earth because they think they're all evil and etc. It's tale as old as time. Okay. To avenge his parents, he joins the Order. He works his way up the ranks systematically. He becomes an emotionless, like, shell of a man who's still taking injections of like rage suppressing and strength suppressing drugs. Now he's just getting them from a doctor in the Order instead of on the streets. He wears gloves and every part of his body except for his head is covered because of the terrible scars that he has from where he was basically like eaten alive. He hates all immortals because of his experience with the Neoptra. But he feels a pull towards Regan. He's kidnapped her. He knows there's something different about her. He wants to question her regarding her species and like try and interrogate her and get information from her. So they start this like little tete-a-tete, this back and forth thing where she like drops little hints about who he is, and he's like not believing her, but she's saying some things that are kind of ringing true. And over the course of however many pages, they start like interacting with each other like on a sexual level. Like he's drawn to her and he wants to do stuff, like he wants to do bad things to her, but he also hates her and her species and her entire like world, like her supernatural world. And so he does that thing that a lot of, you know, male protagonists do, where they're like, I'm going to touch you. And then afterwards, I'm going to hate myself and I'm going to hate you and I'm going to take it out on you. Essentially, yeah. So while this is happening, you have other immortals in this facility in cages or in like cells, right? They have been torqued. They have a collar on their neck that basically neutralizes any abilities they may have. They're locked up. One of the beings who's been locked up is a vampire who is known as Lothair, the enemy of old. He's done a bad thing, and he's stolen an artifact from the crypt of a really gross deity. That artifact is now in Declan's possession. He somehow triggers like almost like a supernatural tracking beacon, if you will. And the creature has now come to the island, even though no one's supposed to be able to find the island. It's come to the island and it wants its shit back, right? Ring. Okay. So it's come to the island and it wants its ring. It breaks into the facility. It comes with a pack of what's called Wendigos, which are like basically like zombies. And they break into the facility. The facility, chaos erupts. Declan, by this time, has come to the realization that he is Aiden and that Regan is his woman. Regan wants nothing to do with him. She hates him because behind his back, Webb, after spying on Declan and figuring out that he's not impartial and unbiased towards Regan, has had her vivisected behind his back, like her chest cracked open and inspected. She thinks that Declan ordered it. He didn't. He was in a drug-induced coma when it happened, high on his like latest fix. So they basically, everything is running amok. All of the evil beings that were being housed there have had their torques removed by Dorada, who is the gross deity who's broken into the thing. So all of the good beings are still torqued and can't access their powers, while all of the evil beings are like systematically picking them off. It's not a fair fight, but it's happening. It is what it is. So Regan, along with two of her cellmates, Declan, Lothair, and is that it? Declan? Oh, no. And Brander, who was Aiden's best friend way back in the day. Brander has earned Ohala in Declan's or in Aiden's stead. He basically made it his mission to continue to fight in Odin's name, earn Ohala, and protect Regan. Like because that was Declan. Too many personalities. I'm dealing with too many personalities and I can't keep them straight. No, I'm not talking about myself. in this particular instance. Okay. So essentially, Brander has also been abducted to the facility. Declan knows that he has he senses a connection with the Berserker, but he also doesn't want to. You know what I mean? Like, up to that point, he had no memory of Brander, right? So now he knows who Brander is. He wants Regan back. He can't stand the idea of her, like, hating him. And he hasn't revealed to her that the reason that he didn't save her when she was being vivisected was because he was high with a needle in his arm. Passed out with a needle in his arm. He doesn't want her to know that he was a junkie. So all of that does eventually come out while they're traversing the island to try and get to a boat that's on the other side to get off the island. They've had to team up with the unlikely ally of Lothair, who is like a hated enemy throughout the lore. And there's a whole thing going on with him that we'll get into next book, because his book is next. Declan has essentially agreed to get them to the boat in exchange for, like, let me come with you, because obviously I want to be with Regan now, because I know who I am and I know who she is. He still hates Immortals because now that he's gotten Aiden's memories, in the past, every incarnation, when he would remember who he was, he would become Aiden. And all of the memories or the personality traits or whatever of the current incarnation would just kind of fade away and disappear, and he would just be Aiden. Now, he has all of the memories from the previous lives, but he's still Declan. Does that make sense? So he's like, you get like the best of all worlds. He remembers everything, but he's still like this twisted, warped version of his current self, which, let's be honest, we all love damaged dudes. I do. I know I do. So they're trying to get off the island, and they've had to team up with Lothair, who will backstab them at any moment, let's be honest. And they're trying to make their way to this boat. And yeah, that's essentially almost the entire book takes place on the island. They don't get off the island until almost the end. And by that point, Regan has forgiven him and she wants to be with him. But now they have to figure out what's going to happen if we have sex. Because if we have sex, he'll die again. And nobody wants that, right? So, yeah, I won't tell you what happens because that would ruin it. I've ruined everything else for this book. Why not just go ahead and ruin the end? It does have a happily ever after. I'll tell you that. All of Kresley's books have HEAs, which, thank God, because y'all know how I feel about that. And yeah, that's that. I think that's enough, right? 30 minutes later, I think that's enough. I've said it a million times. We're on book 11. I've said it 11 times. Buy the book. Buy the series, the entire series, everything. Read them, then read them again. Then listen to the audio version. The narrator for this audio series, for this series in audiobook, is a guy by the name of Robert Petkoff. Robert Petkoff is one of the best audiobook narrators I have ever in my life listened to. He does the voices. Like, I feel like a little kid, but like I'm a kid who's listening to like really filthy stuff. I feel like a little kid who gets excited, like a little kid, when like the narrator does the voices. Like he is able to seamlessly fluctuate between female character voices, male character voices, like distinguishing each one from each other. And he puts the inflection where it belongs. I hate reading. I'm not reading, I'm listening. Candice, you idiot. I hate listening to an audiobook where either the narrator is monotone and they're just dead inside. You're literally just reading from the paper, like, I hate that. Or if like I listened to one where it was like recently where every sentence had like a question mark at the end. Why are you putting inflection at the end of every sentence? Is there something you're trying to tell me? Like what is it? Why are you doing that? I hate that. I hate a lot of things. Can you tell? Did you know? Robert Petkoff puts the inflection where it belongs. The pacing is good. His voice, super soothing. The accents. Kresley's IAD series fluctuates between many different accents. Southern hillbilly, Russian vampire, Irish, Scottish, werewolf. And you know what I'm saying? Robert Petkoff does the accents seamlessly. Like, he's just, how do you even? So yeah. So if you're into audiobooks, this series in audio is superb. I'm just throwing that out there. If you're like me and you have a 9-to-5 job where you can't sit there and read an actual book, but you want to get into get the audiobooks, pop those earbuds in and just that's me. That's me all day on the computer listening to audiobook. Like this, like, what just happened? Oh my God. What? Oh. And then you're like glad you have earbuds in because as it's describing like the sex scenes, you're just like, I'm just like. I used to do that on the train. I lived in New York for about 10 years and I took the subway everywhere. And I would listen to my audiobooks with my AirPods or before AirPods, what I have, like Skull Candy headphones. And I would put them in and I would be listening to an audiobook and it would get to like a dirty part. And I would be like this. Because I would swear the volume was high enough that the person next to me could hear what was happening. And I would be so paranoid. But that's neither here nor there. Don't be ashamed. If you like smut, embrace it, like I have. Devote an entire YouTube channel to it. Let all your friends and family know that all you do is read lady porn. It's what I do. It's all I do. Speaking of, I'm coming up on my 100th video upload. Can you believe? I'm also coming up on 300 subscribers, which is mind-boggling. I think when I hit both of those plateaus, I will do like a massive giveaway of some kind. One for each, like a giveaway for each one. I will mention it in videos if I time them correctly because let's be honest. Yeah, so that's that on that, I think. I haven't even done my closing spiel and I'm already 35 minutes in. Okay, so if you like me and you like my channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. I do have a members-only Facebook group, an Instagram, and a Twitter devoted to this channel. So if you would like, you can follow me on social media. I'm around. I'm always around. Like, my phone's attached to me 24 hours a day. So chances are, if you comment on this video or if you post something on one of my social medias, I will see it immediately. And I will probably respond immediately. Unless you're being bitchy. And then I probably won't. So don't. Okay? I really appreciate you guys watching another video and sticking with me. And I think that's going to be a wrap, because 3 hours later. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in my next video. Okay? I love you. Bye. Okay. Roll take. We're just gonna dive right in, because I'm hype, but at the same time, I'm exhausted. This poor book. Look at this. Look at this. I'm such a shit book mom. Like, Candice. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why we can't have nice things. Okay. Poor beat up old book. Okay. Me. T. Okay. Okay. So I also need chapstick because my lips are very chapped. I need gloss or something. Can I pause? I'm gonna pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Okay. So, I reapplied my gloss. Please ignore this. I don't know what the fuck that is. I think that's foundation. It's whatever. I reapplied some gloss because my lips are dry. And I put a new, I reapplied my eyeliner because my waterline was gross. Okay. So, where was I? What the fuck was I talking about? I'm going to, okay. 500 video clips later, and we might actually finish these reviews. Okay, let me see. Okay, so, because the narrator is doing the voices, like he's literally looking right at me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. I've gotten used to it. I can't. Can't be mad anymore. Just get it over with before I run out of storage. Which is bound to happen too. Which makes me a rage. But my hair is itching my face. You done? You had enough? You had enough? Anyway, okay, where was I? Yeah, so, oh my God. Oh my God, okay. Look at my paper. Look at, can you tell that I have a small child? The table got some too with the pen, so that's cool. Thanks, Charlotte. Right, let's see what happens. Anyway, I'm sure there'll be plenty of bloopers. I gotta cut a lot of this shit out. I love you guys so much. I'll see you. Let's see if my remote works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Nope.